So I've been one of the early users of GitHub Copilot, and since then I've loved it, like each and every part of it. And I have been using GitHub Copilot for the entirety of that time, since it came out, and even now using my university email, which makes the GitHub Copilot free, and now it is actually free for everyone. I have been using it and in VS Code when I used to do work, and now when I've switched to Neovim, one of the uh, four plugins that I searched for was the integration of GitHub Copilot in my Neovim work. So that is what I did, and it is actually possible. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I configured it and which keymaps I use, and how to actually use it in day-to-day life. So let's get started. So those of you who do not actually understand what GitHub Copilot is it is a coding assistant using AI in the backend. So it uses the GitHub's Copilot agent or model or whatever you want to call it. It has access to different types of models, but I use it with the most default model that it comes for. So just a basic demonstration on what it does, just it suggests code as you're just about to write. For example, this is the actual Copilot, the Lua file, which I'm going to show you, but just for the example's sake, if I start typing something, this is something. So as you can see, it is suggesting like the next line based on the context that it sees on the file, and if I want to accept it, I just hit tab and it accepts the suggested code or comment in this case. So this is how actually the Copilot is being used. So as for the keymap that I use, it's very important that I use a bit different, because it's like sort of what I'm used to. It actually feels normal to me actually using this keymaps. You can always of course change it, but it is here on the screen. I use there are certain modes and certain pre-prompts that is actually available for the GitHub Copilot, which I use it here. Is firstly, if I want to open a chat with Copilot, I am going to show you right now. This is going to make it a bit small so that you can see. If I want to start a chat with Copilot, it's just ZC, and it will open up a different pane where actually I can type, and this is going directly to the Copilot. For example, if I say hello, um, how are you? And to send it, I actually use a Control S. So it's sending, getting to the Copilot, and then it's being returned from the Copilot, and I can of course continue the chat like this. To close this specific pane, I just use Q, and just to bring it back, ZC, and it just has its previous things on its buffer. Just to Q to close it again. There are other type of function pre-prompts such as explain code, review code, fix code, and optimize code, which are actually used in the visual mode. So if I select this line, and it is in the visual mode. So if I press leader, which is space, and then Z, and then you can see in the bottom part of the screen that the E, F, O, and R of the key maps, which will actually trigger this specific thing. For example, explain code, fix code issues, optimize codes, and review code for that specific line. It'll directly send to Copilot, and Copilot will generate it automatically. So if for example, if I just press E to explain the code, so it will just explain it here, which I can read and work through it. One thing I do not like about this is that it will just send the code with the pre-prompt, but normally when I used it in VS Code, I just selected a line using my mouse and then talk to the Copilot extension on the side. You can do this here in a different way, which I am coming to, is called the context in this case. So if you want the context of the AI to be the whole specific page, you just type in the Copilot hash sorry, hash, and you see some of the contents listed down here. So you can see the buffer is actually what is in the file. This is the current buffer, so if you select the buffer, it will get everything in the file and use it as context. You can specify multiple buffers using number 1, 2, and if you remember what are in the previous buffers, you can specify a specific file or file names or many files. You can specify entire Git repo. There are other things, and what I do like about this is the register. So if I press like register and enter, so it will actually have the things it will use the context, it will use the things stored in my register as context. So what is in my register? So just to put things in the register, you just copy it. For example, I want to use this and I want to ask something about the specific this specific block of code. I just want to ask something different other than the pre-prompt. So I just have to like copy it using Y is called yanking, and it is stored in the register. So I can just use I can just ask it, what is this code about, and Control S to actually send it, and it is actually using the register. So to see what is actually in the context of this specific conversation, we just press G and C, and we see that this specific selection is part of the context which is being used to talk with the AI. So this is actually about the context and the key maps for this video. You can of course like go into the GitHub Copilot GitHub Copilot GitHub repo, and there is actually a very detailed overview on how actually you can change things. There are others like like there are like the difference in the code. You can also use it. I don't personally use it. You can change the model that is being used by the Copilot. Yeah, so that's about it. But you can of course like go. I would highly suggest you to actually read through the GitHub Copilot, the NVIM GitHub repo. There is a lot detailed about here. Yeah, that's about it for this video. This is how actually regular people like me actually configure and use Copilot Chat NVIM. And I hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.